Welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. When you're ready to transform your sales for today's transforming market, we've got you covered with your host, the queen of cold calling and founder of Salesology, award-winning author, speaker, sales trainer, and coach, Wendy Weiss.
Hi, welcome to Salesology, conversations with sales leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. And I am your host, Wendy Weiss. I am the founder of Salesology and the Salesology Prospecting Method. I'm also known as the queen of cold calling. And today I am very excited because we have a very special guest. We have Darin Dawson, who is the president and co-founder of BombBomb. And BombBomb is a human-centered communication platform that enables users to use simple, personal video messages to leverage their best asset, which is themselves. And Darin leads all the sales, marketing, customer success, and product development at BombBomb. It's a very fast-growing Colorado-based software company. And Darin is on a mission to rehumanize the planet. And he wants to start with your business communication. Darin believes that human beings have intrinsic value and that every person deserves to be seen, heard, and understood. And that's why he co-founded BombBomb. So welcome, Darin.
You nailed that, Wendy. Thank you so much for having me. That was a great intro. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for providing the intro, Darin.
No problem.
So let's begin at the beginning, which is
Sure.
What is the Darin Dawson story? How did you come to be the co-founder of BombBomb?
Yeah, that's I'll do the shortened version, right, for time. But I've always been in sales and marketing, so ran a marketing firm, led the effort at a television station around new media and web development and sales. So always been kind of carrying that sales and marketing bag, so to speak. And my business partner and I, Connor McCluskey, so he's my other co-founder. Back in 2006, we thought as sales professionals, and I was leading a sales team, wouldn't it be great if we could send videos of ourselves and thereby increase the amount of one-to-one interactions we could have with the people that we're trying to sell stuff to. So, that's really the genesis behind how I got to be the co-founder of BombBomb, is because we thought that'd be really cool to do that. And then we sought out, remember, this is 2006, so there is not a camera in the iPhone. YouTube is privately held. Most people were using something called a flip cam to record videos back then, if you remember flip cam. But we thought it'd be cool to send videos through email. Well, there was no service that did that. So we, being entrepreneurial, Connor and I have owned a couple of different businesses together, and we bought a server and we stuck it in Connor's closet, and we made a video and we hosted it on that server and we sent it out. And Connor at the time was a sales rep for Lamar Outdoor, which is an outdoor billboard company all over the country. And he sent it out to his customers first. And the response was amazing, but it wasn't amazing to his sales offering. It was amazing to, how did you do this? We want to do this. What's the company used to do this? And again, Connor and I had always been kind of in the business of wanting to build businesses. And we had this idea, what would be the big one that we build? And he goes, man, everyone loved that. We got to do this, right? And I want to point out too, this was kind of before software as a service was really a thing, frankly. There wasn't a ton going on. There was Constant Contact. MailChimp was pretty brand new. So this whole idea of this, now it's very common, software as a service. There's a whole venture capital market stood up around it, private equity, and all these things. This was pretty early in 2006. So we were going through turning into one of the most economic downturns of all time. So we built this business up. Connor quit his job pretty quickly, actually. He quit his job, I think, almost immediately after that. And we got with a third co-founder who helped us develop software, and we started building video email software. But from the beginning, our mission has always been that we feel it's better to be face-to-face with human beings, that people, we translate differently. I mean, what we were trying to do is get away from making a ton of phone calls, because that was having limited success then. And if we got face-to-face, we knew if we got more face-to-face more often with the people we wanted to sell stuff to, we'd be more successful. So that's how we got to building BombBomb very, very, very early, before really anybody had done that. So really exciting time. I was probably 29 or something like that. Not 29 anymore. Now we have a company in 50 different countries, hundreds of thousands of users, enterprise users, single entrepreneur users. So it's really great. And we've enjoyed success there. So that's kind of the shortened version of how I got to be president, co-founder, BombBomb with 150 employees or something like that.
Okay. How did you get the name BombBomb?
Well, that's another great story. I think back in those days, and you might remember this one, we used to collect URLs. That was a thing you did, right? Because you thought, man, this one's really going to be valuable or something. So we, in the early 2000s, and we would buy URLs that we thought would be interesting for future use. And Connor was dating a young woman, and she told him that he was the bomb.com, which is another popular slang phrase from that time period. Well, he tried to buy bomb.com. It was taken. So he bought bombbomb.com. And he had this URL several years before we came up with the business idea. But when we kind of got this MVP stood up and we got this response that he got, he goes, we'll use the BombBomb URL for this one, this business. I mean, we were always standing up different entrepreneurial businesses. He was like, we'll use the BombBomb one for this one. I'm like, yeah, that's great. And it served us well. Usually people, we show up to conferences or things, especially when we were first starting out, and they would say, I just wanted to see who's going to come get this name tag with BombBomb in it so I could ask you what the hell this is.
That's a great story.
Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you about something that you said when you were talking about how you came to be a co-founder of BombBomb. And I believe you said something like you want to get in front of prospects or more FaceTime with prospects. And you're sending them a video, but you still need to get them. It's not interactive. They still need to respond to the video.
Correct.
So are you saying that, and it would not surprise me if you told me this, but are you saying the response rate is much higher when you send a video email than if you just send an email?
Correct. It's dependent on a few things. It's dependent on your message. It's depending on your relationship to the person, how relevant you are. I think all good marketing is relevant, timely, and if possible, anticipated. So we can get into that later. But to answer your question, yeah, I think we have a kind of a problem right now that we had a little bit differently in 2006. Back then in 2006, there was no technology like this. So you were just kind of always calling on the phone. Maybe you could email people and you kind of look like everyone else. That same problem exists today, right? You kind of look just like everyone else. You have the same, maybe what you're selling, hopefully what you're selling is unique. But I think, it's just text on a white, it's black text on a white screen, or I'm trying to interrupt you with my phone call during your day. This is Sales 101. You've been in sales a long time, right? That problem existed then. It is, to me, nuclear level today. Because now, and I think the pandemic really just really blew it up. And we call it digital pollution. We think it's an equal pandemic because during that time, we just escalated the amount of stuff we started sending. And like I said, back then, there wasn't a lot of SaaS companies. Now there's thousands of them that all have you as their target market audience, ideal customer profile. When I leave this time with you, Wendy, and I go to my LinkedIn or my email, I will have been inundated just in this hour or whatever, we half an hour together. I'll have somebody in my inbox that wants my attention. So this has gotten worse than it has in the past. And so what we want to do is kind of get back to real sales methodology, which is scalable, by the way, but be more face-to-face, use our personalities, our sales abilities. I think what we've done is we've spent a lot of time hiring people to be salespeople, and then we sequestered them behind technology and made them maybe their best sales characteristics invisible to the recipient. Okay, so good salespeople use persuasion. Good salespeople, use inflection. They know how to talk to somebody. And so why make them all look the same behind what is now kind of all text influenced marketing via LinkedIn, email, sales automation tools? So that's kind of the premise that we stand on. It existed then, exists even more today. And we've seen a lot of people adopt this more today because of that. You have to stand out. If two people are selling the same product, say you're in Manhattan, what kind of service you might have. I'm in Colorado, so I might use a landscaper, for instance. A landscaper might come to me this fall or this spring, and I want to add some things, and I'm going to talk to 3 different people. If they all bring me the same proposal for pretty much the same price, how do I decide who I go with? I'll ask you a question. How would you think I'm going to make that decision?
Who do you like?
Who do you like? Kind of, right? And so,
yeah.
And how do human beings decide if they like someone? They meet them. They build a relationship with them. They get to know them a little bit. And so you're always doing this. Now, whether that's subconscious or whatever, biases included, you're doing this all the time or deciding, do I like this person or not? And at the end of the day, people like to do business with people they know, like, and trust. This is as old as time. This has been going on forever since we exchanged stones in caves. This is how this works. And so my thesis is that the more you're face to face with people, and if you're a salesperson, that's the holy grail. The whole reason you're emailing, you're calling, is to have a meeting face to face. But I think if you kind of introduce yourself to these people in this manner through video, kind of, hi, my name's Darin. Just want to introduce myself. I live here in Colorado. This is my dog. She's usually hanging out. Like, these are things that people build relationships on, and then they decide, you know what, I want to hear what they have to say about that. I think that's how it works. I think that's how it's always worked. I think we're trying to mess around with it a little bit right now in this post-pandemic, during the pandemic wave. It works on a spreadsheet. I don't know if it works long-term.
Well, I know there is research done at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business. I think it was back in 2015, where they tested written communication against spoken communication.
Yes.
And, written communication is a text, an email, maybe a social media post. Spoken communication, I don't think they tested a BombBomb, but they tested you're in front of someone, you're on the phone with them, you even leaving them a voicemail. And basically what they found is that if people hear you talk, they not only think you're smarter, they're more likely to take action on whatever it is you're talking about. So then when you add that visual to the spoken, I would imagine, I don't have the research, I would imagine that makes it even more powerful.
So I think, one, I want to point to a case study that's being done by McKinsey. It was done by McKinsey and Company in 2021. I'll get to that in a second, but I want to double down on what you're saying. When you hear someone, your brain interprets these things, inflection, tone, all of these are nonverbal that your brain is relating to. When your brain sees another human being, like we're interacting right now, or we're video, even though you might be listening to us on the podcast, we see each other. Your brain saying that person's talking to you. You're picking up on the fact of how much I move my hands when I talk and how I just leaned in there and I'm smiling now. This is all social nonverbal communication that builds know, like, and trust with another human being. Okay, so I think we lose a ton of that when we don't use video in our communication. I want to jump back to this McKinsey study. It was very interesting. It was called Getting Personalization Right. McKinsey Company, you can find this 2021 report. Some highlights I think are really interesting. 76% get frustrated when personalization isn't used in the interaction with a company. Just one stat. 72% say they expect the businesses they buy from to recognize them as individuals and know their interests. 72% know their interests? That's tough. And then 76% are more likely to purchase due to personalization. Huge. So that's that know, like, and trust, right? That's like, I like this person. I have a relationship with them. And then here's a big one. 78% are more likely to recommend or refer due to personalization. That means I'm going to say, look, no, Angie, you need to talk to them because I know them, right? Again, this shouldn't be mind blowing. I think it's antithetical to what we're doing today from a marketing and sales motion. So what we want to do today is just like accelerate. We got to call and really use automation to get in front of as many people as we can with the same kind of thing. And I think we just got to slow that down a bit and get back to being more face-to-face more often. Now, I do have a way to do that at scale, if you're interested in hear what I think about that.
Absolutely. Let's hear it.
Okay, so I think what people hear, they're like, Darin, you know what, dude, you're crazy to think. If you think I'm going to send personal one-to-one videos, I got this BDR team that is calling and setting appointments for my account executives and so on and so forth. And this is a scaled enterprise. A lot of venture-backed companies use this methodology of BDRs or SDRs setting appointments for account executives who then close deals. Okay, so in your marketing automation, whether it be marketing cloud or could be outreach, what we propose and we can help you with is an evergreen video solution. Here's the deal. I can say something in a video that kind of tricks your mind into thinking this is just for me. So everyone's doing this. We're trying to like make me think that email was just for me, but we don't believe it anymore, right? I mean, if you get an email from a company, do you actually believe the human being sat down and wrote it? Like,
no, you can tell.
Nancy,
never. You can tell. Yeah.
And now we're getting better at telling. Just because we have a variable data field that says Darin in it, it makes me think it's even more automated. And when we believe everything is automated, it makes it very easy to ignore everyone, right? So if we think it's automated, we're just ignoring. It used to be we had reciprocity, meaning I got an email from a person. I felt like I needed to respond to it, right? In my career, I felt that way. Even if I wasn't interested, I would say, thank you for reaching out. I'm not interested. Do we do that anymore?
No,
I don't. I go click, shift, delete 20 times a day.
Only 20?
Right, exactly. Because I don't believe they're real people. So let's add an evergreen video into that sequence. For instance, I'll give you an evergreen video that anybody can use. I kind of just did it before. Hey, how you doing? My name's Darin. I just want to check in with you. You know, we sent that proposal to you last week. Haven't heard anything back from you. Is there anything that wasn't in that proposal? Did I mess up? Did I do something wrong there? Please let me know what's going on. I would love to know. So often when we send a proposal, we get ghosted and we don't know what's going on. Send that video to your deals as an account executive that you don't know what's up, and you'll get a response. Here's why. And I didn't say your name, by the way, right?
Right.
I just want to reach out. Hey, it's Darin with BombBomb. I just want to reach out. We sent that proposal over last week and I haven't heard anything. So I'm using tone and inflection. I'm using my sales abilities. I'm getting you to create empathy with you, right? Oh yeah, this is a real person. I'm trying to make a real number this month, right? And I don't know what's going on with the proposal I sent you. Did I do something wrong? When I do that and I do that way, I use my voice that way, human beings go, I got to get back to them.
Yes.
Would you agree?
I would agree. Although
I can send that via text email. I don't think you'll get the same response.
No. Although I do have to interject for all of the account executives that are sending out proposals, before you send out the proposal, do nail down the next step.
I like that.
A meeting to go over the proposal so you don't have to send that BombBomb email. Sometimes you'll still have to, but most of the time, if you nail down that next step, that's a better idea.
Yep. Or an outreach email. I think
if
we go back to this BDR motion, I could give you an evergreen solution there. Hey, my name is Darin. I just want to reach out to you and introduce myself. I'm with XYZ company. We help people just like you, and we've helped companies just, I would name some peers of theirs, and this is how we help them to solve this problem. I'd like to spend 15 minutes with you to show you what I have, and then you can be the judge if it warrants a further conversation. That is a Brian Tracy, which is if you remember Brian Tracy, the
Absolutely.
Psychology of Selling,
Yeah.
that is a script from Brian Tracy that works to set appointments. Because what I'm asking for you is an exchange of time. But when a human being asks you that versus the 50th text email that I got, there's a difference. And in the subject line of the email, personal video for Wendy. Does that make sense? So you're going to personalize that subject line. But then I did an evergreen video that can be used at scale to every touch that I have. It's automated inside Sales Loft or Outreach, or whatever, Marketing Cloud, whatever you're using to get that scale.
Absolutely. We do the same thing with phone scripts, voicemail scripts, and you can take those scripts and use them. If they're delivered well, use them in the video.
But that's where our sales
BombBomb,
managers and coaches and enablement specialists come in. Yes, we have to listen to this. We have to, hey, on this, we need to say it this way. I think that we're getting away from that a bit too. We get a bit lazy when we use so much automation. We're losing our sales abilities a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always so interesting when I work with clients that tell me how you talk to a prospect. Hello, Darin. How are you today? So it's
passion and enthusiasm.
Yeah,
the transfer of those things are what gets deals done, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Darin, we're going to pause here for a moment for a word from our sponsor. And when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about rehumanizing communication. I think that's what we have been talking about, but I'd like to hear your thoughts about that. And I've also read that you worry about salespeople becoming commodities, and I think that's an important conversation to have as well.
Absolutely.
So we are going to pause now for a word from our sponsor, which is Salesology 3X Appointments. You know how frustrating and stressful it is when you leave every sales meeting wondering if your sales team knows how to sell because they're not selling and all you ever hear from them are excuses. They blame your marketing. They say you need to do more social media, and they say you need a new website. You know something's wrong. You don't quite know what it is, and you're even starting to wonder if it's you. You don't have a lot of options. You could just fire them all and start from scratch. That would be expensive. And you're really sick of waking up in the middle of the night wondering how to fix this. Well, imagine instead that you have an easy-to-use, replicable system that ensures that your team can easily schedule qualified appointments. And imagine that your team is excited and motivated. No more excuses. And you feel good. Well, Salesology 3X Appointments can make that happen. If you're a business owner or a sales manager with an underperforming sales team, let's talk. Click on the link to my calendar in the show notes, schedule a time, and I look forward to meeting you. And we are back with Darin Dawson, who is the president and co-founder of BombBomb. So I want to ask you, Darin, because I had read that you were on a mission to rehumanize. Well, actually, I read it in your bio, didn't I? You want to rehumanize the planet. And I'm wondering where that came from and what that means to you.
Well, we're going to go a little bit deep here to get to the answer to that question, because there's two things. I want to help you rehumanize your business, but I'm on a mission to rehumanize the planet. And so Connor and I, we started this company really, and I kind of told you the genesis of the story, but what we're always trying to do is build a business that was big enough to help our philanthropic ideas. So Connor went to Africa probably around 2002, and we made a great friend there. And, he saw crazy poverty there, and he kind of came back. He said, dude, we gotta do something about this. Like this is just too much. It was overwhelming to him. We made a great friend there. And who is kind of overseer of a orphanage, but more than that, feeding station. There's a huge slum in this area in Kenya that Connor went to. And basically this gentleman then came and visited us. We were in our early 20s, and we helped him raise money. We helped him get support, and stood up, so to speak. This feeding station was feeding about 300 kids every day. And then we went to feeding like 600 kids 3 times a day. And then it became an orphanage. Then we started to think about microeconomic generators there. So we have a tilapia farm. They do. I would say we didn't. We've got other people that have helped in this too. But BombBomb, we've built 3 greenhouses there. At BombBomb, we support children there. We actually did it a little different way. We let the kids choose the people who work at BombBomb. And so then we give them support so they can eat, so they can go to school, they can get healthcare. We want to help people in the world who are being dehumanized and marginalized. So as a company at BombBomb, we support 3 organizations. The one I just kind of described to you, which is called Seeds Orphanage in Kenya. Now they have a K-12 school. It's the 2nd best school in all of Kenya. It's just been amazing to see what our friend Richard has done there with others. And we played a very small part in that. But then locally, we support a program called Mary's Home and Dream Centers. So Dream Centers kind of Mary's Home. Mary's Home puts at-risk families who are homeless, specifically women with children who are living in their cars, into a program where they can graduate and get a college education. And we do that locally. And then there's Dream Centers has a women's clinic. It's a free healthcare clinic for women that they take care of them. And then we do Springs Rescue Mission locally, which focuses on our homeless problem. I think there's homelessness everywhere in America. And I think a lot of times we just look down at that. And then we thought, how can we help? We have to help. This is our community. So, I think that when you work somewhere, it has to be about more than picking up the phone to make another sales call or picking up the phone to do another support call. What is the why behind the business? This is ours. So for us, it's helping these marginalized communities, these dehumanized people. And to me, if I can impact folks using BombBomb, so we give BombBomb away to any nonprofit that wants it. So you can go get a BombBomb account for free if you're a nonprofit, because we want to help you on your missions, how we can use our technology to help. You're a part of rehumanizing the planet, right? So it's just things like that we try and make an impact. Connor and I want to make a dent in the universe. And we think this is what we've been called to do, and that BombBomb is the mechanism by which we can deliver that. So that's what I mean by rehumanizing the planet.
And it seems like you're also trying to rehumanize sales, which is probably not as big a mission.
Correct.
It's still an important mission.
You got this. The BHAG is the planet, and the business acumen is, look, I think humans, and we've talked about this a bit, are better face to face. We know how to build relationships. We're kind of, email's only been around for the last 40 years. It's not that long. It's technology, things new. Human relationships are as old as time itself. So I think coming back to that is how we rehumanize our business, and that getting back to building strong relationships that repeat and refer, that come back to us time and time. We focus on things like lifetime value of the customer, average deal size. I would argue these things can be greatly impacted by an investment in relationships by your business. If you want a lifetime value to increase, invest in relationships in the business. Have them know you, like you, trust you. You should know about their families. We should be doing life together. I know our top customers. I spend time with them. I enjoy it. If you don't, you probably shouldn't be in sales. There's just a quick path to money. It's probably not your thing. I think the best salespeople like people and like helping people. You have that heart to help. And your solution is how you're helping them, right? So I think you can deliver that better through a video message to get the opportunity to have the face-to-face call or the Zoom call in these days, whatever it might be.
Right. So what are some do's and don'ts then about video? If we're going to be sending BombBomb emails, what should we be thinking about when we put this video together, and what should we not be doing when we
Correct. I can give you a couple of things. I think one, everyone asks, how long should the video be? And I say as long as it needs to be, but typically under 60 seconds. Okay. So it's a short message. You want to build rapport quickly. You should know what you're talking about. In our book, Rehumanize Your Business, we actually build out a framework for how to deliver a video in this context. So it's a very tight framework. The number one tenet, though, of the framework is you have to have the best interest of the recipient in mind. And this is talking to my marketing folks and my sales enablement folks. Look, stop having your salespeople deliver messages that aren't customer focused. A lot of times the marketing that we see is us focused. It's about what we want, the meeting, the time, whatever. Well, you have to tell them why they should give you that time, that exchange, right? I think, so that's what our next book, Human-Centered Communication, is all about, is making sure the recipient want and need is in front of yours. If you start doing that, you'll get more adoption, you get more sets, you get more appointments, and that's what we all want. A big no-no, though, in video, and I've been seeing this, and this is what kind of scares, I think, some sales leaders from adopting. You have to tell your salespeople, if they're going to do video, they need to dress. This is why I tell my salespeople, they need to dress as if they're about to walk in to the 42nd floor in Manhattan to present the product. What's the difference? It shouldn't, we need to dress for success. We should be, or whatever that is for your company. I think there's culture and identity around that, and that's fine. But as long as you're cool with how they're dressed, and you would be fine with them walking into any customer you have and talking to them right now. So that's a thing, right? So we have virtual backgrounds, and we do all of that too to help with that. But at the end of the day, I think a collared shirt's okay, or dressing nice is a thing. We need to present ourselves in a way that's for business. That might be old school, but I got to tell you, I mean, as a owner of a company who gets pitched a lot, if you're just hanging out in your bedroom and you look like you barely got it together today, I just don't think you should be selling me $100,000 piece of software. Sorry.
Yeah. What is the expression? You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Yeah.
So where video can be very powerful to do that, it's also can work in the opposite way. And we kind of solution for this too. And this evergreen video solution that we often use with our enterprise customers, we create 6 different videos that we kind of walk through, like the sequence with the company, and say, okay, here's your sequence, your outbounding sequence. And in it, we're going to prescribe 50% of the emails here need to include a video. And then we actually help them write the script. We actually help them inject it with the email. We do all of that with them to prescribe that. And then it's evergreen. So I need to create maybe the 6 videos that are going to be used in a sequence forever, for the rest of the year, perhaps. And so, okay, we only need you to get dressed up for one day, and we're going to make you create these 6 videos today. So put your best foot forward. We're going to rehearse that, and then we're going to get them done. So we kind of take our customers through that whole process. Like, okay, everyone's dressed for success on Thursday at 10 a.m. We're going to create these 6 videos, and we have them all scripted for you. And once they're done, they go out into the sequence automatically. So we've kind of had to solve for that problem for our clients.
Yes. Comb your hair.
But it's a common problem. We don't dress like I used to. I mean, I've had a job where I had to wear a suit and tie. I'm not proposing that's where we need to go. I'm just proposing that whoever your client is, you need to understand how they think. And if they expect something different than what you're wearing, I'd change it.
Absolutely. So I do want to ask you, because I was reading that you worry that salespeople are becoming a commodity. So I wanted to ask you about that and why you worry about that.
I think that if we keep going down this road of this nuclear proliferation of stuff, that, I mean, really, AI can do it. Why not? Right? I think human beings are better at building relationships than we ever will be with artificial intelligence, writing content for us and, kind of going back and forth with what those people say. There's a place for those things. But if you believe that people still buy from people they know, like, and trust, you should invest in helping and training salespeople. If you don't think so, that's not a big thing for you, then fine. Keep doing the things that you're doing. And I don't doubt that they'll have some success. I'm just a fundamentalist when I think that human beings are actually still, and salespeople are still at the basis of getting deals done at the end of the day. So that's where I stand. That's where I'm going to stand. That's who we're going to want to work with. I want to help companies that still think that way. We can give you the velocity. We can give you the scalability of personalization at scale. We can do that for you. But if you don't think that, then that's okay. Do that. And you don't need to work with us. So I want to help people be more involved in the sales conversation. Humans.
And it is unlikely that someone is going to click on a buy now button for $100,000 purchase.
Right. No. I mean, typically, what's your average deal size? What's the lifetime value? How much is this worth to you? How much are you spending on this person? And so I just feel like sometimes the lack of investment, we're investing highly in automation and not as much in sales enablement on the human side of that than we should.
Yeah. You are preaching to the choir here. I
thought I might be.
Yeah. Well, I sometimes have clients that hire salespeople and say, I want to see how they do before I invest in them. And unfortunately, the way they do frequently is not great. So,
no kidding. It's like, I want to work for someone who's going to invest in me. How about that? You get another problem there. I mean, the real good sales folks, they want to go somewhere they can grow. And we need to find people that love sales again. This has become an industry where we want to make fast money, right? Like people who love sales, who love people, who love deal doing, who love relationships. This should be the profile that we're looking for, right?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And so, Darin, would you put your hand over your heart and promise me that you will come back for another interview?
Oh, anytime. Okay. I don't need to. My word is my bond.
Okay, good.
No swearing needed.
Good. And because I know as we're finishing up here, you do have a gift for our listeners. Yeah. And you were talking about it a little bit before, but share some more.
So if you're in any way intrigued by any part of this conversation at all, any part of the conversation we've had, I would invite you to get a free book. It's a Wall Street Journal best-selling book. When we released this about a year ago, crushed it. Hardcover sales. Now we have a digital version of that book, and you can find that book at BombBomb.com. BombBomb, that's two B's in the middle, BOMB.com/free book. And that human-centered communication is the title of it. A case against digital pollution, which we've been talking about. This is a great read. We got this done with Fast Company Publishing, actually published this book for us, and it's been great. And so it's this is how we think about this. So if you want more, you want a deeper dive on that, it is actually written with 12 other business leaders. So my chief evangelist, my chief marketing officer constructed and wrote the book, but along with people from all different business, like real estate, SaaS, technology, all kinds of different business acumens, all with the same kind of belief of what we're talking about, that humans matter, being face-to-face matters. Video, by the way, to me, is just the delivery mechanism I think is leading today, but human-centered communication is about how we build relationships with human beings and how to deliver on that. And it's not a BombBomb advertisement. I promise you that.
Hey, well, I have already downloaded the book, and I'm looking forward to reading it. And we will be posting that link in the show notes. So after you finish listening to this podcast, go to the show notes, click on the link, download Darin's gift. So to finish today, you have been listening to the Salesology Conversations with Sales Leaders podcast. I am your host, Wendy Weiss, and we've been speaking with Darin Dawson, who is the president and co-founder of BombBomb. And if you found value in today's podcast, then think about one business owner or one sales professional, one entrepreneur that you know that you think might also find value in listening to this podcast, and please share the link with them. And till we meet again, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, really large bills.
You've been listening to Salesology, Conversations with Sales Leaders, the art of faster, easier, more profitable sales. Be sure to follow so that you don't miss a single episode. And while you're at it, please leave a rating and review, and be sure to share it with your friends. Tune in every week for more exciting insights and wisdom on transforming sales. And until next time, visualize yourself surrounded by cash, very large bills.